So, I want to set this one up, one down stance that I've got here. Right? This allows me to dictate which direction he can really pass on. Right? So he can't really pass around me here. It's just too easy for me to move. Right? You get gripped and keep sliding my hips out. I'm basically shading him to one side. Okay? So, when I'm here, I'm going to look, since we're in the gi, I'm going to utilize these grips. Okay? I'm going to use like a cross grip here. I actually probably prefer a cross grip here because I'm going to open my elbow to make space for my underhook. Okay? He might give me his elbows exposed like this, but he shouldn't. Okay? He's going to keep them in tight. So what I'll do is I'll get my grip into that pocket between his pec muscle and his shoulder right here so I can keep him away if he tries to push. All right? So he comes in on the edge, move. Okay? Once I get here, I'm going to get my hook inside his thigh. Okay? All right? So here, inside his thigh. And then I'm going to drop my elbow as I pull myself in and work to open my elbow here. Okay? Now I have my underhook. Okay? A lot of times in the gi, I'll keep my head on this side. All right? I'm hugging his hip. Now all I have to do to win this battle is get his arm. Okay? So if he tries to kind of retract it to the side, I just control his elbow to where he can't post it on the floor. I can pull his wrist. A lot of times, if his hand's on the mat, I'm going to go to his bicep where it bends. So right here, and pull in. Once I have this here, my shoulder goes to the floor. I use my bottom foot, come up on those 3 toes to knock him over into like a knee cut position with an underhook, chest on chest. Okay? Now I pull this arm up. My underhook slides up to his shoulder. I cut through. Finish up underneath his head. So here, hook. I'm going to drop my elbow inside and open it. Okay? See how I start to expose his arm a little bit? Now I can get in on his hip. Okay? I can grab his belt if I want. I don't like to make a habit of counting on the belt. You can use it if it's there. But if it's not there, you want to make sure you're comfortable still doing this, right? So I go to his hip. I've made this angle where there's a big open space for me to drop him down to. Okay? So now, if I get to his arm or control his wrist, I can take my left shoulder to the floor. I don't go backwards. Okay? So I'm in here on the side, shoulder to the floor, dump him over. Turn. Okay, I have my underhook, his leg stapled with my ankle. My knee is on the floor. I'm chest to chest with control of his arm. Now I can just slide this through here. I'm going to walk my hips back into his. Here. Finish in side control. Does that make sense? Any questions?
So you're doing it real short when you take him over.
I'm not trying to launch him.
To you. Yeah. Okay.
So I could use my foot to launch him. Really what I want to do is do most of the sweep with my 3 toes on the outside of my bottom foot. Here. Okay? Because I want to stay connected to him when he lands. I could just try to launch him, but he's going to end up 3 feet from me. Right? That doesn't do me any good to keep him there. Does that make sense? So, get my underhook, I make my angle, control the arm, my shoulder goes to the floor, bottom 3 toes come up, knock him over. This foot is there, for example, if I'm doing it on Daniel Stabley, where I can extend at the end if I run out of travel. Does that make sense? And then I want to finish directly chest on him with a staple, my butterfly hook. Basically already in position for a knee cut when I land. Does that make sense? Any questions? Are we good?
How heavy is your preference, cross versus straight collar when you're setting up?
Either one works. The only problem with this is sometimes it's hard to get my arm in here and get him open. This gives me a little bit of room to pull my elbow to his ribs and then open. Okay? I'm using this inside, like I'm using that to pull myself in. Here. Now, even if he tries to keep his arm closed, right? I can open and circle. Does that make sense? Worst case scenario, we can talk about this, we may do it today. If I go through here and it doesn't work, maybe he drops his arm inside, like maybe in here, right? I can wrap here and go overhook. You just have to be careful when we execute the sweep that I don't let him an opportunity to come up. So we can talk about that later too. All right, try it, 1, 2, 3. All right, I'm gonna show this from a different angle because he's gonna counter. He's gonna see that I have this position. He's like, nope, not happening. He's gonna post his leg up. So, that should come over here a little bit. So, because I'm actually gonna take you this way, so you can that's fine. Push your legs up. So, I come in, open, get his hand to the floor, right? I start to get this, and he posts his other leg up, okay? So obviously I'm not sweeping to that side, I can't, okay? So instead, I'm gonna go here, and I'm gonna go shoulder crunch. So I'm gonna grab here. Immediately throw my left hook. So I have my right hook already in here. I'm gonna throw my left hook up here. As I pull myself underneath him, I'm gonna turn into the other side. So I end up with this grip here, go palm to palm, and I keep this tight using my neck and my grip. This foot is gonna come in. So I'm gonna sit, turn, right? So I have a frame on his neck and this shoulder crunch grip. Yeah. So I'm gonna scoot in and get both of them. Basically I have double hooks, okay? So I'm under, oh my God, it's okay. So here, right? He starts to post, right? I can't do it. I can't sweep that. The butterfly sweep's not coming that way. Here, right? Now if he tries to retract his arm, it's not gonna happen, okay? My foot's in here, I'm gonna slide my other foot in. Even if he tries to put his knee down, it doesn't matter at this point. I'm gonna shoot in, here, turn. Come up on top. You should, turn this way, end up with this leg stapled, okay? This just keeps me from making any real mistakes, okay? He may be able to kind of hook my ankle, but he's not gonna stop it. Okay, so I'm in here with this position, right? If he attempts to hook it, right, I just bring my leg up and free it, okay? I don't want to end up loose here where he gets his knee underneath. Does that make sense? I want to make sure I pin that down. I'm dealing with the inevitable bridge opportunity or bridge attempt that he's going to try to make, okay? Any questions on that? Anybody? One more. Shoot in, right? Hand on the floor. I control here. I keep my foot active. This foot's just gonna shoot in. I'm gonna scoop my hips as close to him as I can. Here. Keep my grips. Okay? Start walking my leg up, I free, right? Now he has to attempt to turn. I have pretty good control here. And I start having his elbow exposed. Does that make sense? Any questions? We good? Yes?
So when you're shooting that leg through, you're kind of pulling out at the same
I'm gonna, it's called a shoulder crunch grip. So I'm gonna hold it in tight, scoot, and I'll do it slow here. So I'm already here. I get both hooks in. I'm at this point, right? So I crunch, I have a frame on his head. I'm gonna turn to this side as I elevate. Use that frame on his jaw too. Okay? It's gonna help me just turn him a little bit. Does that make sense? Get my hips under his hips, okay? Should work if they're bigger too, it's not gonna matter. Because of that leverage I'm creating at the shoulder and his jaw. All right, give it a shot. 1, 2, 3.